The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus came from Galilee to John at the Jordan to be baptized by him. John would have prevented him, saying, "I need to be baptized by you, and do you come to me?" But Jesus answered him, "Let it be so for now. For it is proper for us in this way to fulfill all righteousness." Then John consented. And when Jesus had been baptized, just as he came up from the water, suddenly the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, the Beloved, with whom I am well pleased." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. As we come together tonight on this feast day, as I mentioned, it's a good reminder to us of who Jesus is, and it also, through this account that we have in our gospel today, reminds us of who we are. And I think it brings to light three different aspects of who Jesus is and what is happening at this scene at the Jordan. First, we see that Jesus is the Son of God. That is very clearly proclaimed. He's revealed as God's Son. As we hear, that voice declares, "This is my Son, the Beloved." And this public affirmation makes it clear that Jesus is that chosen one of God, and he's going to, as the people will find out, begin his mission. We hear who Jesus is and why he has come. He's not just a teacher, he's not just a prophet, he is the Son of God, sent to bring salvation to the world. And this shows how Jesus was ready to follow the Father's plan. And so as we reflect on Jesus and this moment for him, it reminds us too that we are also God's children. We are his sons and daughters. We are his beloved. And just as Jesus received the Father's love and approval, we need to remember that God sees us in that same way. Some could say, well, we sin. Yeah, God understands that. He still loves us no matter what, and still calls us his beloved. And so therefore, as his beloved, as his special sons and daughters, we, like Jesus, have to trust in his plan for our lives and live in a way that honors him. We have to, as well, take up our mission to go forth when we've heard that call. And that's where it's so exciting tonight as we have those with us. They've heard that call and they're responding. For many of us, I know myself, much of that call was chosen by my parents. I was baptized as an infant. Of course, I made the other sacraments as I became older. But, here we have tonight those who have heard that call as an adult and now are wanting to respond. The second part that we hear in our readings and our theme tonight is that Jesus is being called to be a light. A light to shine God's righteousness on all. And that's important, as we heard in that first reading, Isaiah referring that the servant that the prophet was speaking of would bring light to the nations. Again, that's a mission that Jesus fulfills. Once again, we are called to share in that mission. As you can see next to the baptismal font, what do we have? We have the Paschal candle. That Paschal candle, that Christ candle, reminds us that Christ is our light. And what is going to happen in a moment? As we do with every baptism, we take a light from that candle and we light a baptismal candle. And then that's given quite often to the parents or godparents, or tonight we can say it will be given to those who are being baptized. And this light that this symbolizes is not just that. It's not just a symbol. It builds on that idea that through baptism, we have been missioned. We've been invited to go forth, to bring that light, to bring hope, to bring goodness to those around us, by showing kindness, by standing up for what is right, sharing our faith. That's the way that we spread that light, that we allow that light of Jesus to shine through us. And to know that it's not just a one-time thing. Oh, well, we got the light on our baptismal day, I'm all done now. No, that defines our way of life. We need to bring that light everywhere we go. And sometimes, as we know, that's not easy. Trying to bring and be that light in our homes, which sometimes, families, spouses, brothers, sisters, sometimes we don't get along as well as we should. That's when we need to step back and say, hang on, am I being light here? Or am I bringing darkness? So even in our homes, we need to bring that light. In our communities, in our parish, we need to be light for one another. In our workplaces. And each time that we bring that light, we allow that to define the way that we live, then we're fulfilling our baptismal call. And then the third aspect, we got Jesus as the Son of God, reminding us of that we are children of God. We've got the light, and then we hear the role of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. Jesus went forth not on his own, but with the Holy Spirit. We can see how the Holy Spirit was working in Jesus' life, how it gave him strength and power to carry out his mission. And the same is true for each one of us. That Holy Spirit is available to us. It starts in baptism, and then we receive the fullness of that in confirmation, which tonight we'll also be celebrating. As a reminder of how that Holy Spirit gives us those gifts, gives us the strength that we need so that we can be faithful to God, that we can make good choices, because we know the devil is always there trying to distract us, trying to move us in a different direction. And we need that Holy Spirit to give us the fortitude that we need to battle those temptations. We need to open our hearts to that Holy Spirit and turn to the Spirit for its guidance. It's so easy, especially if we look at our world, that says, no, you can do it on your own. Be independent. Well, be independent with the Holy Spirit in your life. Allow that Holy Spirit to be that partner for you. And so tonight, as we celebrate these sacraments of initiation, let us be reminded, just as we hear Jesus went through his baptism and all the things that happened there, we are God's children. We are called to be people of the light, and we are able to do that with the help of the Holy Spirit.